right, guys, what is going on? Let me see. What's good, everyone? Hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. So we are live, but I don't know where everyone's at. Everybody wanted an earlier stream, right? So we get on earlier. Where is everybody? You guys wanted earlier, we hopped on earlier. So what's up? What's good, Willow? I know you were excited to be on. I got something pretty cool for you guys today. At least I think it is. What everyone else thinks is cool is not always cool. Or what I think is cool isn't always cool to everyone else. And what everyone else thinks is cool isn't always cool to me. Since we're here, I know it's really late, but watch British Pound. It's about to, I think it's about to run those highs, like right here. I think it's about to bust right up there. So I'll be keeping my eye on that for a minute. I want to see those highs get taken. I'm not in a trade, but I want to see that. And we're here live, so hopefully we get some juice out of that. Just watching the mitigation, imbalance, small imbalance here, short-term low taken. So I think the next move is going to be for us to wreck that high or those highs. So I definitely want to see that. Know what I'm saying? Happy Friday. Blessed and grateful to be here. You already know where I'm at. There's a call in the Discord. Maybe they're all there. Well, I'm here. I'm here. All right. So, but either way, well, I think the call was supposed to be 11 to 12. So that's why I picked 12 instead of 11 or later, because I didn't want, conflicting times. Well, there's that. So that's trading 1 pipette above the high, but obviously I want to see it trade higher than that, probably to 124, 124.10, something like that. I don't see it just stopping there, because again, that liquidity is going to be at the high and above those highs. So we'll see what it wants to do. But well, you're either here or you're not here, so I'm good either way. But today I want to talk about being a slave, okay? And to quit being a slave. Samuel is locked in. Awesome. So I want to talk about quit being a slave, okay? Now, this was inspired by a lot of people, just so you know. Epictetus was a slave, and he's a really well-known philosopher. I think he's very underrated. But he himself was a slave, I believe, for the first 30 years or so of his life, which is a very long time, because I'm almost 30 years old. So that's a very long time to be a slave. But I have some quotes here from Seneca, Epictetus, and I could have sworn I had Marcus Aurelius as well, unless I just goofed up the... Oh no, I do have one quote by Marcus Aurelius as well. Okay, what's going on, Lars? What is good? All right, so if you guys want to, I highly suggest you take these notes, or if you want to take a screen recording, you are welcome to do that as well. All right, I know there's only like 3 of you here, but it's cool. I'm good, Lars. How are you doing? I got a big announcement, but there's no one here, so probably... What's going on, Lauren? I mean, I guess I can tell you my channel is back. My channel is back. Look at that shit. We are in there. Favorites are back. Look at that. All 130, 40, however many it is. I mean, it takes a while just to scroll through it all. Imagine how long it takes to watch all of that. Man, all the way from almost 2 years ago. Look at that. splash warning. Don't get don't get you know, epilepsy or whatever it is. But yeah, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. How you like that? How you like that? I asked for your patience. I told you to be patient. Right? Let him cook, as they would say on Twitter, right? Let him cook. Let him cook. Okay? So they're there. I told you not to cancel your subscription because this was coming back. All right, this was coming back. So we are in there like swimwear, ladies and gentlemen. So you are encouraged to check that out, and we'll see how it goes. And I guess British Pound doesn't want to run those highs entirely. I guess not, but it's cool. It's cool. So happy to hear that you're back on Go Live. Me too. But that's not the only announcement that I have. But unfortunately, the other announcement that I have, it can't be released today. It has to wait because I have to wait until it's official. Just like I waited until my channel was up, I'm able to log in and show you guys, right? Because it's official. There's another announcement that I had that's not official just yet, but when it is, you will know. You will know. So yes, I am back on Go Live. I will be back next week at our normal, you know, power hour, channel 96 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I am not leaving YouTube. Okay, I am not leaving YouTube. The videos that are up will stay up. I do plan on going live on YouTube. Okay, so that's not going to change either. Not active anymore, but I tip my hat to I am for that move. Them just erasing you like that was wild. Yeah, Willow, it was. And there, you know, there's like a long story and all that and the details, but honestly, I'm over it. I'm ready to move past it, and I'm just ready to move on with everything. So all is back to normal. Little bump in the road, but that's life, you know. There's bumps in the road, but we're here and we are gonna continue on as normal. Okay, so yeah. What changed, if I may ask? What do you mean what changed? Because as of right now, nothing has changed. Only me going on YouTube. I think the Trade House needs a presence on YouTube. I think that YouTube is great. So here we are. What's up, David? Good afternoon to you as well. All right, now I don't want to make this too long because people that are going to watch the recording are going to be like, you know, get to the point. All right, so now that we got a few more people on here, and I'm sure the views will go up as we continue, but if you guys want to, before we get started, guys, please give it a like, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, because that helps the algorithm, that helps the channel to grow and get in front of other people so they can hop on and we can all, you know, grow together and be good. So today's presentation, again, quit being a slave. So there's a quote by Seneca. All right, and let me just pull up OBS for a second because I want to make sure that you guys can see. And British Pound isn't doing what I thought it was going to do entirely, but I'm going to blow this up real quick. All right, so here is, let's see, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. Okay, this is the Penguin's classic version. All right, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. So it's really good, and I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up. Maybe not. If you look closely, if you look about right here, it's a little bit more yellow right here than any other spot on the page or on the pages. And that's because when I flip through the book, my thumb is right there. So I've flipped through this book so many times that the oil from our skin has gotten onto the pages and has stained the pages yellow. So that might be kind of weird for some people, but like I think it's really cool because it's like that's how many times I've sat here and flipped, you know, through this book and through the quotes and all of that. So I think it's cool. But let me show you something real quick. Okay, so I've got some highlights in here, and this is the first one that I want to show you. Now, if you have this book, in all seriousness, I wish we could do this a lot more often, where it's kind of like a college course where it's like, oh, open your textbook to page whatever. But if you have, again, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, if you turn to page 95, this is the quote that I want to show you. So it goes like this: show me a man who isn't a slave. One is a slave to sex, another to money, another to ambition. All are slaves to hope and fear. There's a couple more sentences, but what else I have is, and there's no state of slavery more disgraceful than one which is self-imposed. Whew. Look, that's fire, dude. That is fire. Okay. There's no state of slavery more disgraceful than one which is self-imposed. And I don't know why YouTube keeps blocking y'all's comments like that. I gotta like manually fix that. I don't understand that. But dude, this is really cool. So, right, quit being a slave. So that means to quit being a slave to your desires, right? Your desires that are harmful to you. You know, it could be, what's going on, Siva? You know, you could be a slave to things that are not good for you, right? Like alcohol or cigarettes, you know, and there's like a whole list of things, obviously, and everyone has their own vices and what is harmful to them. And as Ryan Holiday says in Discipline is Destiny, he has a chapter called Quit Being a Slave. So we like things, or we are addicted to things that do harm us, and that's an underlying problem. Like there's an underlying problem there, and that's what we need to identify, and that's what we need to fix. Okay, can you repeat that one more time? The second quote. Well, it's two different quotes, but it's on the same page and it blends together. Okay, so I'll say it one more time just for Willow. Show me a man who isn't a slave. One is a slave to sex, another to money, another to ambition. All are slaves to hope or fear. And there's no state of slavery more disgraceful than one which is self-imposed. We impose them on ourselves. Now, we could talk about the Matrix and how the Matrix imposes, you know, slavery onto us, but a lot of the times we choose our vices, we choose to be a slave to things. So that's a great quote by Seneca. Here's another one from Epictetus. So no one in a state of constant fear is free either. By the same token, whoever has gained relief from grief, fear, and anxiety has gained freedom. So a little bit of a difference there between Seneca and Epictetus, and I'm not surprised because, again, Epictetus was actually a slave. Seneca was not. I don't think so. Seneca was rich. He was a advisor to the Emperor Nero. So he was, you know, he was in a high court. You know, he was in, like, basically today, like a politician almost. You know, I would assume that Seneca would be someone who practically worked at the White House, or, you know, something similar in today's world. Okay, Laura says the stream will be deleted because you said it. I don't think so, but the difference, right, is Seneca is saying you guys are a slave to external things. You're a slave to money and power or ambition or whatever. But Epictetus is saying that you have imprisoned yourself in your mind, that your mind is not free. And I think it was Epictetus who also said that it doesn't even matter where you are. It could be, you could be in jail, but you could be free. And you could be a slave in the White House, or, you know, you might think that you're free because, look, all of us, we can walk around, we can go to the store, we can go to the liquor store or whatever, and like physically we are free, you know, most of us anyway. But what Epictetus is saying is that you guys might be free, your body might be free, but your mind is not. And that to me is very, very powerful. So if we combine those two, right, if we combine what Seneca is saying, if we combine that with what Epictetus is saying, we need to free our minds, and we need to be free from external things or things that harm us. So dude, that's pretty intense if you think about it. It's very deep too. You don't learn this shit in high school, you know, or middle school or anything like that. And dude, this helps out in trading a lot. And that's what I was trying to explain on Twitter earlier, because these people always go on Twitter, they say this stupid shit like, oh, don't read books, right? Andrew Tate said that. Big L tweet from Andrew Tate. One of the few things he said that was just utterly idiotic. But there was some other people too that are like, oh, you don't need trading books, you just need to trade. L tweet, big time L tweet. Okay, books are incredible. That's where you gain a lot of insight. You can combine that with life experiences, but the insight you get from books is phenomenal. And anyone who discourages reading, to me, is not a mentor worth listening to. Straight like that. I don't give a fuck how much money you have, how rich you are, because guess what? You can be rich and still be a slave. You know what I'm saying? So do what you want with that information. Let's move on to the next one. Again, coming from Epictetus, talking about impressions. So I like this one. He says, don't let the force of an impression when first it hits you knock you off your feet. Just say to it, hold on a moment. Let me see who you are and what you represent. Let me put you to the test. And I like that. Let me put you to the test. So there's another book called Do Hard Things by Steve Magnus, which I've recommended to you guys before. And he said something very similar to that. He basically said, when we have emotions, right? Like if we're in a trade and let's just say it's not going our direction. Can you guys still see British pound? I think so. I know I'm up here on all over the screen, but I was just watching this. Like, let's say if we were in a long position, but you know, the market's going against us and we may feel some type of way about that. You know, Epictetus is basically saying, look, why do I feel this way? Right? Why am I anxious or nervous or angry or whatever? And I think he's basically saying, look, whatever this impression is, I need to put that to the test. What is it really telling me? Why am I actually anxious? And then to go from there. Or if something bad happens to us, right? We think that it might be bad, but it might not really be bad at all. So those impressions, things that happen to us, or thoughts that come to us, or feelings that come to us, we should put those to the test. Okay, because that anxiety about a trade might not even be from trading. It could be from something else. You know, it would be really cool if someone was watching John from jail. Yeah. Heavy stuff. It is heavy, dude. That's why I like it. I like philosophy, because they tell it to you like it is, bro. They didn't hold back. And that's one thing about Epictetus, dude, is the not just compassion, but I would just say, you know, he was literally a slave for such a long time, and he was like, I gotta teach you guys stuff. You know, and he had his leg broken, so he walked around with like a cane and everything, and he's like, my body is not, you know, 100%, but I'm still free. You know, and that's powerful shit, man, because I've been in the hospital before. I think many of us have been in hospitals before. You know, a broken collarbone or broken bones or whatever. We're sick, stuff like that. But he's like, dude, my body is just my body, but I am free in the mind. You know, he also said, this isn't on here, but he also said, no man is free who's not a master of himself. You know, so that's great. There's two more I have coming from Epictetus. So here's another one. Remember, it is not enough to be hit or insulted to be harmed. You must believe that you are being harmed. If someone is successful in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. If someone is successful in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. That's deep. It really is. You know, because people say a lot of awful things. You know, they call you ugly or stupid or whatever. Oh, you know, John, he doesn't trade, all that dumb shit, right? And it's like, okay, if I'm really upset about that, or if I'm upset at what somebody says, that means I believe them because my mind is complicit with what they're saying. You know, oh, John's fat, this, that, and the third. It's like, it's just so funny to me at this point, because I used to get like upset at stuff like that, but I'm not upset anymore, because I just realized that a lot of people speak from a place of insecurity, and a lot of the people that say things like that, they hide behind profile pictures of like NFTs or like anime and stuff like that. And it's like, you're so insecure that you're gonna attack me, you're gonna say something that's not even true, and you can't even show your face on the internet. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man, what are we really doing? So I don't believe anything of what these people say anymore, especially if it's not true. It's like, why am I going to be bothered by that? You know? Uber Eats trying to get me to purchase some more tacos. I might do that, dude. I'm getting a little hungry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a question. When it happens today, I have a trade and a perfect setup, but inside me, someone told me do not enter this trade. Does this ever happen to you? Absolutely, Raphael. Absolutely. Sometimes we get nervous, and I think when that happens, it's because we may bring our last trade with us to the next one. Like, oh, I took a loss, or I took a couple losses in a row, and now I don't want to take this trade because I don't want it to be another loss, you know, or something like that. So you got to read Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. You know, each trade is unique. Every trade is, you know, the last one has nothing to do with this one. You know, the next one has nothing to do with anything. They're each independent, and sometimes that is hard to understand, especially if you're coming off of a loss or a series of losses, you know? So, all right, cool. We're getting some more viewers on here. Appreciate that, guys. Listen, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you like what we've done so far, go ahead and give it a like as well. Again, that helps us get on the algorithm, helps grow the channel, and it's free for you to do that, you know? And that's all that I ask as of right now. All right. So here's the last thing from Epictetus that I have for you guys today, because again, I want you to read the book, dude. A lot of this stuff either comes from quotes that he said that I found online, or he has a book called Discourses. Shit, I gotta pull up OBS. Discourses and Selected Writings by Epictetus. Again, the Penguin's classic version. I like Penguin classics. I don't care for their version of Meditations. I like the Modern Library version, but they do a really solid job with Epictetus and Seneca from both of these books. Okay, so you don't have to screenshot, you know, you don't if you don't want to, but you know, those are the two that I've discussed so far today: Letters from a Stoic and Discourses and Selected Writings from Epictetus. Okay, and I know I've shown you guys this time and time again, but I'm going to keep doing it because this is such an amazing piece of work. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. Okay, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So here's the last one from Epictetus. Anything or anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. Anyone or anything capable of angering you becomes your master. Quit being a slave, right? Because if I'm angry at someone for saying something, that means they're my master, right? And I don't want to be a slave. I don't want you to be a slave either. I think I did cover that yesterday a little bit on my last live stream. But don't let other people or don't let outside events become your master. Choose to be free. And I think that's a good thing. All right, so there's one coming from Marcus Aurelius, which says, because most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? So I like that, because number one, most of what we do and say is not essential, so we're wasting time. And if you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility, peace of the mind, and more time freedom, right? Because if we don't have time freedom, we are a slave, right? So that is definitely in alignment with today's topic of to end being a slave. And to ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? You know, when people hit my inbox on some bullshit, you know, I ask myself, is responding to this person necessary? Majority of the time it's not. Like 99% of the time it's not necessary, because I have students that I need to get to. Students are always going to be more important than anyone talking shit, and that'll always be like that. You know, so is it necessary to talk to them, to waste my time, to waste my energy on people like that? Absolutely not. The last person that did that was Stan. He's still in my inbox. Mans was talking to himself in my inbox, dude. And you know, that's just crazy to me. Dude sent like 12 or 15 messages over and over and over again. Like, that is such a waste of time, not just on his part, but it would be on my part as well if I were to respond to that, or to, you know, just encourage that nonsense. You know, it's just such a waste of time. And again, I still want to see British pound trade above 124. I hope I'm not wrong. Only because that's like the ego, you know. I want to be right, of course. So that first tick right there, I don't think that's it. It could be. I just don't want it to be. But I'm not in a trade, so it's not trading advice or anything like that. I'm just watching price. That's all I'm doing, is watching price. Okay. All right. So the last one comes to us from Seneca. So we started with Seneca. We're going to end with Seneca, even though Epictetus was the slave, but it's cool. He says, the mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. So when we are miserable, it's not a fun way to live, right? It's not a fun way to live. I was in the Navy. I was miserable. It was not a good way to live. I've had jobs before, many of which I was miserable. It was not a good way to live. So when he says future events, right, we are worried about things. We're worried about maybe a trade that we're in, or we're worried about, I mean, all kinds of things. What if I throw an event and it doesn't go right? What if I ask people to join my business and they don't want to sign up, right? Or what if I get embarrassed? Or, you know, like there are so many things that we worry about, and most of which don't even come true, by the way. We overthink things, you know. But the mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. So you got to let, and a lot of the Stoics talk about this too. They say to just let events happen as they happen. You know, don't wish for certain outcomes. Just wish for things to happen as they happen, you know, because you really don't have control over any of that anyway. So, but yeah, that will pretty much cover it for today on that topic. You know, we talked about freeing not just our minds, but we talked about being free from external things that are not good for us, bad habits or bad vices, things that we do that harm our bodies and our mind, which is why I always say, you know, stop watching TV, because TV is garbage, doesn't do anything good. They just instill fear into people. And the Matrix wants you to be miserable. They want you to not think for yourself. They want you to be a slave. I don't want any of those things for you. Okay. You know how we talk about all the time to observe the masses and do the opposite? It's the same thing, not just in price action and in trading, but it's the same thing in life as well. Observe the Matrix and be the opposite. You know what I mean? They want you to be a slave. I want you to be free. They want you to be worried. I want you to be not worried at all, to be grateful. You know, we had some quotes from Seneca, a few quotes from Epictetus, one from Marcus Aurelius, and those were the three books: Discourses and Selected Writings by Epictetus, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, and Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. All right, so hopefully you guys can appreciate that for the mindset side of things for today. So I wanted to get that out there. I think it's awesome. And for those of you that have not seen it from earlier, I do have my Go Live channel back up and running, ladies and gentlemen, all the way to 150, which we talked about watermarks, we talked about mantras and Bible verses, we talked about sayings and stuff like that, because that is what these are in here. If you look on my screen, right, I have my Instagram right there. I have one of my more famous sayings down in here of your stop loss is my entry, and then up at the top right I have memento mori, right, remember that you will die. So that's what we talked about there. But previous to all of that, mostly is price action, mostly is books and stuff like that. So if you guys do have a subscription to the iMaster Academy, we're back like we never left. We took a little break and now everything is back to normal. Okay, I do not enter. Read again. Sometimes you just got to take the trade, fam. Sometimes you just got to take the trade. So it's 12:36. I honestly, I would really prefer to watch the indices if I'm being real with you. But for British pound, I want to see, some of us might look at this as a mitigation and this as an imbalance to go lower. But again, I don't think that's going to be the case, because this run to me is just too shallow. Okay, sort of like some of my ex-girlfriends. Okay, just shallow all together. But you know, if you look at this for what it is, okay, these highs, it's like the liquidity above that hasn't been ran. It just looks almost like this is a support, or not support, like a resistance, right? Like everyone thinks this is resistance, so they want to sell it. The market gives them a little bit, gives them 20 point or pips or whatever. But again, I don't think this is done. So what I'm saying is, if I was looking for shorts, like that to me would be a good short. If I was looking for shorts, I think that would be a good short based on the setup, because you have an imbalance that also happens to be here at this mitigation, and then this also happens to be a fractal high. Okay, right there. So like that, like again, if I was wanting to short, I would short this right here. Like I'd pull the trigger on a short right now. Okay, but the reason I'm not doing that is because, number one, I'd rather trade indices in the afternoon, and number two, I don't feel like the stop run has initiated yet. I don't think so. I want to see price trade more so 24 and above that. So we'll have to come back to that. Okay, we'll have to come back, which we will. Well, I don't know how long I'll be on here for, because again, I don't, you know, if there are other streams that people are doing, I don't want to like impose on that or impede on that. So we'll see. I want to say the indices are a lot higher. Absolutely beautiful. So this is what I shared earlier this morning, not in Discord, but I did share it on my community tab. If you go take a look at it. Thank you for the value. Appreciate that. So excited that you're back. I am too, Alex. Back like I never left. Okay. You're in a trade? No, I'm not. I'm not in a trade. Okay. I'm not saying to take the trade on anything. This is not financial advice. I'm just watching price. But I shared this on my community tab a little bit earlier today from what I was watching, because of what we discussed yesterday. We went pretty deep into mitigation. We went deep into liquidity runs and imbalances and smart money efficiency. We talked about opening price and all that business. So it's just interesting. I wanted to show you guys exactly what happened today, because it was damn near the same thing we discussed last night, right? Stops being ran, right? During London, I don't trade London, but other people do. So if price is trading higher, that means somebody bought down in here. Where do their stops go? Below lows. What's the market do at the open? At the open, we sink, we take out the low from 8 o'clock. We have equal lows at 5:55. We have lows at 5:30 and an imbalance at 4:10. Boom, market absorbs that. We're below the open. I think it was Willow who went long down in here. That's definitely a snipe from here. And then we rallied. We traded above the New York Stock Exchange open. We traded back down into this mitigation here. I know it's hard to see because of the red box. Again, I do that for you guys. I don't have all this shit on my charts, but I just wanted to show you specifically, but that's what that looks like without the extra colors on it. This 820 candle here, right? Low, high, lower low that took stops and rebalanced price. Oh, I wonder what a mitigation is. Well, I just told you. Okay. So that right there, boom, we smack into that. And then we take off from there. Look at that. Dude, look at that. Is that not just beautiful? Is that not just crispy and chef's kiss? Like, come on, man. Look at that. Look at that. Which one is that? I don't think that worked. That's fine. Anyway. So what do we do from here? Well, the NASDAQ has rallied. The S&P has rallied. The Dow has not. So definitely pay attention to that. We do have an imbalance here. It just filled that in. So did you guys notice that? I know that was very quick. I'll do this again. S&P higher high here. Right there. NASDAQ making a higher high as well. However, the Dow is, it's not good. Okay. We have a lower high there. That might be important for the afternoon. That might be important. If I happen to be bearish, I think this would be a good short. Again, I'm not taking this live today. It's Friday. I don't usually trade on Fridays, but if I was, I would look to short that. Like let's just say we were live trading right now. I would short that with a stop here. Okay. And first partial would be at that low. That's a 1 to 2, and your 1 to 3 is there. Okay. Your 1 to 3 is there. Now, if this was more of a, let's say a sniping stream, what I would do is get off the 5-minute. I'd go down to the 1, and I would see maybe if we get a breakdown and then some sort of smaller time frame setup to go lower. But because technically, when I see relative strength analysis like this, a lot of the times that I try to just nail the high, if you get it wrong, then it's probably going to run your stop. But in cases where we do get a breakdown and that relative strength to me is like more confirmed, that's when I'll go in on the 1 minute, get a little bit of a better entry, and then go short. Okay. But again, I am not saying to short this market. That's not what I'm saying. I'm watching it. I'm basically pretending if I were to trade this, I would short that with a stop at this high, or even at the top of this candle here, maybe something like that. And then we would see what happens. So, because we are at 12 or beyond 12, so we're above the afternoon session open, but technically this is a bullish day as so far, but there's a couple hours left. So we'll have to see how it goes. All right. So I will be watching that. I want to see what happens. And if I'm wrong, nothing's going to change because I'm not trading that live. Okay. Only reason not trading this is because of Friday. Well, Friday is my least favorite trading day. I think all the opportunity was from this morning to go long, and I've got a lot to do today as well. There's some other things I got to take care of. I got to clean my room. I got to get something to eat. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I only had some waffles for breakfast, so I'd like to eat something. and it's just with yesterday's trade, I'm good with that. So I don't want to fuck that up before the weekend. You know what I mean? So I really hate going into the weekend with a loss too. That's just an ego thing. But I'd rather end the week off with a nice trade and just wait till next week. But yeah, so but we can stay here for a little bit, because and another thing too, I haven't really done like a top down analysis either. So this week I think was a little sloppy, and at least on the daily time frame, you know, I didn't really care for the Dow on the daily, and I think yesterday I said I would take it day by day. So that's kind of what we're doing, smaller time frame business. Another thing too, here's another thing as well. When we took yesterday's low, so notice that the Dow took yesterday's low, the Nasdaq didn't. So that to me is manipulation to the downside. So today I would primarily focus on upside. We ended up nailing yesterday's session high here. So look at that. Okay, keep that in mind. We took liquidity on the downside. We met liquidity on the upside. And now we came back into the middle of a range. And then we're kind of, you know, things are a little bit shaky right now. So because of that too, that's another reason why I probably would not take that trade. Does that make sense? So there's many reasons. I'm hungry. It's Friday. The morning was very, very nice. Beautiful opportunities this morning. So if you missed that, I feel like this is almost like a revenge trade. The setup isn't bad. We've got some highs and an imbalance. The setup itself isn't bad. But I think everything from today happened this morning, and I don't think the afternoon is going to deliver as much. And I could be wrong. Price could deliver. This thing could take an absolute dump and make me look like a superstar, but I'm not interested, you know, in that. Does that make sense? So there's many reasons. It's just discernment, it's experience, and some people might take this. Some people might look at that and go, oh, I'm willing to take that and short it. It's your account. You do what you want. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not going to take it. Okay. Christopher says, yeah, if your intentions are not to trade, it's best to be patient and stick to the plan. I agree. Nasdaq was beautiful this morning. I'm done for the weekend as well. Well, have a good weekend, Willow, and have a mimosa for me. So let's come back to this in a minute, but I want to talk about Nasdaq. Okay, so if we look at that 1 hour, okay, think about this. And we're in an imbalance up here too. We'll see how that goes. But remember, we pulled up the Dow, right? So look at this. You see how Dow took yesterday's low here? You guys see that? When we look at Nasdaq, what did it do instead? It didn't even come close to yesterday's low. That run this morning was way up here, so not even close. So Nasdaq to me is under accumulation. So if we're under accumulation to go long, why would I short? Why would I short? You could, but the predominant focus, again, I think is bullish. So I'm not going to short. The S&P, same thing. It didn't even come close to yesterday's low. It gave us some equal lows though. I mean, we might come back to that at a later date, but not as far as today. You know, so we're rallying very aggressively today. So again, why would I short? Okay, look at that shit. If we were in a trade, we'd be in some drawdown right now. Look at that. Okay, look at that. Now, the reason I said the stop would go at the top of that candle is because if anytime we look at this as an institutional candle or whatever you want to call it. Like if this was, you know, something that you traded, then if that were to be an institutional candle or whatever you call it, then ideally it wouldn't trade to the top of that. Okay. So that high is probably gonna be taken. Okay. So we're gonna move our stop as if it was at this high originally, right? That's what I mean. That stop is fixing to get taken, I believe. So just watch it. Okay, just watch it. We'll give it a few minutes. But look, but notice what we did there. Right? Let me walk you through this real quick. We found a good setup. Right? The setup is not bad. Highs and an imbalance. But according to the higher time frame, because this is a 5 minute, the 1 hour says that we're bullish. So would we take a 5 minute short if we're bullish on a higher time frame? Look what it's doing. It kind of danced around our entry a little bit, and then boom, it starts to run towards our stop. That's not good, right? But we didn't take shorts. So hopefully you learned a little bit of discernment. Hopefully you learned a little bit of, well, top-down analysis, or maybe when not to take certain setups. Because it's not about finding setups. We can always find setups, but even good setups can run to your stop. Gold manipulation in 1922 to the upside. We'll take a look at gold as well. We'll see what's popping over there. I see Nasdaq rally to the 11,800 area. Clean up some of that massive CPI candle from December. Are you still long, Willow? Or are you out? The first move down, got in, but took me out on the second. I get it. So we'll come back to the Dow, because again, I want to see this hypothetical trade get stopped out, just so I can help prove a point. So we'll come back to that. All right, gold. Let's see. Gold. Yuck. Seasonally though, we're popping. Unfortunately, I have physical silver, not a trade recommendation, but silver's been nice the last couple months. I was gonna buy some more down in here, but the premiums, dude, they were hoeing on the premiums, bro. They were. When silver was 18, they were selling it as if it was like 20. Like, it was crazy. Because at 21, it wasn't like, they weren't bad, but I think like the lower it gets, the worse the spread is. You know what I mean? It was ass, bro. They were overcharging really bad. So I decided not to personally. But I still have some. So we'll see February, March, see what happens there. But may hold that for the long run. I closed the trade about 15 minutes ago. I'm in a challenge, secure the bag before the weekend. Okay, no, I like that. I like that idea. So gold, I've always said that gold to me is the most manipulated asset there is, above like everything else. And if you look at it, I mean, look at it. We took highs during London, like London open, traded up, swept that, traded lower, imbalance here, and then we came down, took the stops, traded back into the range above this high, grabbed that high, and then came down again, and now we're just in the middle of a range. So to me, Friday afternoon, there's only a couple hours left. We're in the middle of a range. Liquidity on both sides of the market has been taken. I would not touch that. You couldn't even pay me to take a trade on gold in this environment. But let's see. Let's get rid of all that. And let's see if we can look at some, I prefer 1 and 2 minute and 5 minute on gold, just because of the volatility and the setups and stuff. So look at this. There's a mitigation short and a mitigation long. I don't know if you saw it, but I'll go over it. So look at this. I know it's kind of shitty, but it doesn't have to be sexy, it just has to be there. High, low, higher high. Okay, we trade through that here and back up into it right there. That's pretty cool. From there to that low, let's see what that looks like on a 2-minute. It looks like shit, but it's cool. Right there. See if we can fit that on one chart. So this is what I mean. You have a mitigation short here at 3 a.m. Ooh, I'm not up at that time. You have some lows, and then you have this high, and then a lower low that takes stops. We trade up and above that, back into these up candles right there. So it trades back into that, and then up and above these short-term highs as well. See that? So now do you guys understand why I say that? Do you now understand why I say gold is the most manipulated asset above anything else? That's my personal belief. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. That's my personal belief. But look at this. Liquidity met, mitigation, liquidity met, and then mitigation, liquidity met. Like, dude, the gold just banks literally from liquidity to liquidity, dude. And that's a beautiful thing. If you know manipulation, though. If you know manipulation. And I looked at silver. I don't really think there was any relative strength there. I mean, I only looked at it for like 2 seconds, but there you have it. Why do you take the bearish candle as mitigation after rather than the bullish candles that manipulated the buys to dump it? Because that is the manipulation, or excuse me, that is the manipulation setup. Because if you had identified these two up candles, if that's where you put your order, you didn't get filled. I'm in a trade and you're not. Okay, no ego there. I'm just saying, like, if you played mitigation, you'd be in. If you tried to get that, you're not in. So then you're going to be one of those people where other people are eating good, but you're not in the trade. You're looking at your chart and it still says sell limit up there. That's why. Okay, mitigation's a little bit early, but mitigation you can usually get in more often than not. Okay, because if you try to get too high of an entry, it just, the market doesn't always get that. If you demand too much, the market may not deliver. Okay, and it's the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of up candles here, but even if you pick that last one, right? Because a lot of people do, you know, oh, it's the last candle. Well, if you look at that, you didn't get filled there either. And guess what? On a 5-minute time frame, this also happens to be an imbalance right there. Okay, so if you didn't take the imbalance or the mitigation, if you tried to get too high of an entry, guess what? You're not in. To the point, so the stop loss would still go above that high. If it was me, yeah. So I know, oh, look at that. I'm wearing Adidas. Can you guys see that? Let me check OBS real quick. Oh, you can see that, right? It says Adidas right here. Okay. I use Adidas as an acronym for all day I dream about stops. And I did a couple of streams called Adidas in part 1 and part 2, and I talk about stop loss placement. Now I won't go over everything on YouTube because, you know, it's YouTube. But what I can tell you, I'll give you a little bit of insight, okay? If we were, I'm going to take everything off here. Okay? If we were to take this imbalance, there's a few different stop loss placements that you could choose. Now, if it was me, and if the risk management permitted, my stop would go to this high. Now, in order to pull the trigger, though, I do need to frame something that's 1 to 3 or higher. So if we aim for that liquidity, that's a 1 to 1.2, which is not that great. A 1 to 3 would have been way down in here. But let's just assume for a second that's what we targeted. Or maybe we said, to hell with it, we're going to target 1906. Like, oh, we're going to hold that over the weekend and hold it into next week. So let's say we framed a 1 to 4 just for argument's sake. Okay. The logic behind the stop being here being above that high is because if I believe that this is manipulation, then price should not trade back above that high. The liquidity has been taken. Unless they run it a second time, which there are instances that will happen, not obviously today. There are instances where it happens twice, and that's a whole nother topic. But if the market's bearish, if we have swept highs, then it shouldn't trade back up here, and it doesn't. Okay, that was the high of the day, and so far that's probably going to be the high of today. You know what I mean? So that's why. And you should study that though. Study liquidity runs. Okay, let's go back to the indices for just a minute, because I want to see if Dow hit the hit that high. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. All right, maybe it didn't. Maybe if we were in a trade, then maybe we'd still be in this. Let's see. Originally the stop was at this high. Well, if you had spread, if you trade with spreads, your ass is out. If your stop was at that high. If your stop was at the actual high and you don't have spreads, then you would technically still be in. Oh shit. You would technically still be in. But anyway, we'll come back to that. The point was study liquidity runs, right? So this morning at 8:30, 8:35, when we took yesterday's low here, okay? Notice how, let's say we traded this mitigation here today, right? Because why would that be a mitigation? Low, high, lower low that took not just short-term liquidity, but yesterday's liquidity as well, right? And then we rallied, retracement. Well, we rallied, retracement, rally, retracement. We traded through that very, very aggressively and then traded back down into this. So if this was our entry, again, there's a couple different stops that you could take. Personally, I think a stop down in here is 100 and almost 200 points, which to me is way too much. Oh, 140. Sorry. Quick math. Okay. That's a little bit wide to me, but I don't see the market today coming back down here. That liquidity was absorbed, and if there's not enough liquidity, or you know, then the algorithm that delivers price, in my opinion, because that's what I believe in, I don't believe would come down here a second time. At this point, I believe that liquidity is above this high, where we have our hypothetical stop here. Okay. So study that though. When you study liquidity runs, is that the low of the day or the low of the week? Because sometimes you'll see that it is. So, and here's the thing about yesterday. Remember I told you how a lot of traders get into early, or they get stopped out early and stuff like that. If you wait for manipulation, and if you wait for a retracement or a mitigation, then I personally get stopped out a lot less. Okay, like look, go down into the trenches. Okay, go down to the 1 minute time frame. Take a look in here. I think this 1 minute's a little bit kind of, it's a little wishy-washy, but if you take a fib from this low to this high, right? If you went long here, okay, it rallied and then took another short-term low. Rallied, but then came back, got, you know, it put pressure on traders who were long. Then we got a nice run to the upside. Anyone chasing that, guess what? The market pulls back to try and get them out, because the market pulling back hurts, man. It does. When you're trading, well, micro futures not so much, but when you're trading like E-minis, like I always say, that will rip your face off. Futures will rip your face off. Okay, you got to be very, very, very careful when trading futures. Absolutely. Well, any live trading and all, you got to be careful. But futures, yes, you can literally get very hurt. Okay, when the market pulls back here, it never comes back to these lows. It never does. Liquidity was absorbed. Okay, to me, in my eyes, I don't look at dojis and spinning tops and all that candlestick Bible stuff. But if you were to do that, at least put some context on it. Right? Look at that candle here at 8:38 Central Time. Right? Oh, that's a doji or a butterfly or whatever. To me, it's not the candle, it's the context. You can write that shit down. It's not the candles, it's the context. What is it doing? It's taking yesterday's low. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, that to me is why, like a retracement here, or maybe some down candle, maybe you took the down candles or whatever, or maybe you switched to a 2 minute because the 1 minute sometimes look like shit, especially with the Dow. You know, you've got 2 down candles right here. Okay, you can put those two together. That's a nice 618, nice down candles. You have an 80 level here as well, 33,080. Look at that. Boom, right there. But it never comes back to this low. It never does. So that's why if you wait for manipulation and then wait for a break of structure, okay, then that's when I place my stop at these lows, or maybe this one if I'm a little bit more conservative. Just like yesterday. Remember we went over, we'll go over it briefly again real quick. Okay, briefly. We talked about the 1 minute. In here. Okay, if you remember yesterday, I told you that the stop, or I told you at least that I didn't want to see this low taken there, right? I didn't want to see that low taken when we pulled back here. And that's why I entered on that. I entered on the imbalance, but I monitored, or excuse me, should have been gray. The mitigation is here. The imbalance is here. Okay. And I monitored the trade by saying, okay, my stop's not going to be super tight. It's going to go to this low. So check that out. 39.20, 20 level with a stop at 39.15, 5-point stop, cake. All right. And then what does it do? It never trades to that low. Never. Because that to me is, I mean, it's very, very short-term manipulation. But again, look at the wick, right? It wicks down into that, taking this low. And remember that 5-minute mitigation was here as well. Higher high, there's your evidence of conviction, or that smart money is in the move, whatever. And then boom, that last little rebalancing here before the knick-knack, patty-whack. Dog gets a bone. You know what I mean? And that's it. So, oh, you know what, dude? I totally forgot to announce that I'm back on Go Live on Instagram. Wow, I messed up. I'll have to do that after this call. But is anyone on Go Live today, as of right now? Because I have no idea what the schedule is. It's 1:10 Central, so I don't know how much longer we'll be here. Let's go back to the Dow. And what happened? Did I delete the short position tool? Did I do that? Why'd y'all let me do that? You're fired. Okay. It's been very boring though. The last 20 minutes hasn't really done a lot in terms of movement. But if it's not selling off fairly quickly, then probably wrong and probably going to hit stop. So guess what? This is here. Well, I'll continue the lesson. I'll give you some more juice. If you were in a short position, let me ask you this. Would you let it run to stop, or would you get out with half a loss? Like, let's say you risk $10, hypothetically, in a demo account. Let's say your risk was 10 and you're down $5. Wouldn't you just take the 5 and that's it? It's not the candles, it's the context. What do you suggest Larry Williams' book for beginner or not pro trader? I love Larry Williams' books. I have like pretty much all of his stuff. How I Made $1 Million Last Year Trading Commodities, greatest book, one of the greatest books of all time. The Secret to Selecting Stocks for Immediate and Substantial Gains. That's where all this divergent shit came from. Oh, but you know, this person, that person created this and that. Larry Williams was making books in the 70s and 80s. So who's really the creator? I don't know. And to be honest, I really don't give a shit. But Larry Williams talks about stocks and that whole divergence deal. It's Larry Williams, bro. It's Larry Williams. Oh, fun fact. I think it was Merrill Lynch that he had learned open interest from. So I know I mentioned that the other day. I couldn't figure which bank it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Merrill Lynch. Okay. Oh, look, I think we're getting a little bit of movement now. So we'll keep that up here for just a minute. But yeah, How I Made $1 Million Last Year Trading Commodities, gas. The Secret to Selecting Stocks for Immediate and Substantial Gains, gas. He has some other ones like The Right Stocks at the Right Time. I have it. I didn't really find it all that great, but those two I would say are the best. And his books are a little bit more expensive. They're like 30, 40 or $50. Well, shit, mine's 36, but that's only because of Amazon, dude. Amazon charges like 12 just to print it, you know, because when I set it up, I'm like, man, I want the quality paper. I want the quality, you know, colors and all that. So it's like $13 just to print the book, dude. That's why it's so expensive. Just in case you guys ever were wondering why my book is $36, is because that's why. It's 12 just to print. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. The indices moon. No, I do think the indices are going to moon. And hopefully I made the case today. Number one, discerning positions, top-down analysis, and when to get out of a trade early instead of letting it hit your stop. Or if it comes down back to our entry, that would be a good time to get the hell out of there. Because again, if you think it's going to be bullish, why would you stay in a short position? Those people on Twitter, oh, just let it hit your stop. Fucking retarded. That is stupid. Okay? Why take a regular loss or a big loss when you can just take a partial loss? That's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Small losses, big wins. Simple math. Will the session be recorded? All the sessions are recorded. If you go on the channel, if you go over to the live, like where it says community tab, videos, all that, there's a live tab. All of these are here. And they're not coming down. Unless YouTube decides to take them down, they will be up there. For you. For you guys. So, but anyways, that's really about what I wanted to cover today. All of the things we talked about earlier with Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius about to quit being a slave. We talked about some price action. We did a lot. We did like mitigation and imbalance. We did a little bit of stop loss placement, Adidas, trade management per se. We touched a little bit on trade management. We did a little bit on 20 and 80 levels, you know, 0, 20, 50s and 80s. We talked about that. And a little bit of relative strength. We talked about book recommendations. I gave you 3. from, you know, discourses and selected writings, letters from a stoic, and meditations. I talked about Larry Williams' book, How I Made $1 Million Last Year, Trading Commodities, and the secret to selecting stocks for immediate and substantial gains, which again, that's where relative strength analysis originated from. That's my belief. All right. Answered a few questions. Hopefully we got some new subscribers as well. We definitely are running up the watch time too. I definitely like that, you know, because they say you need 4,000 hours to be eligible for monetization, and we're going to run that up definitely. So I mean, I can give it some more time. If you guys want to be here, if you guys want to hang out, cool. We'll just have to wait and see. Can you show how to change from military time to not military time on TradingView? Yes. I want to say if you go under scales, you guys can see that, right? If you go under scales and then you go down to time hours format, there's 24-hour clock and a 12-hour clock. I've got it on 12 hours because, yeah, I spent 4 years in the military, but I think military time is stupid, honestly. 24-hour clock is, I think it's dumb. So I like AM, PM, and that's how to do it. Thank you for sharing the information. You're welcome. I can't pronounce your name, but you are welcome. Definitely would love spending time and getting the juicy sauce. Yes. Less math for my brain. How about Zulu time? I have no idea. I have no idea. I really don't. But yeah, look how weak the Dow is. The Nasdaq's up 2%. And you know what? That's probably in part because of Netflix. Did you guys see Netflix recently? I like it. I like it. Well, I don't like them as a company because of like all the bullshit that they do, but if you remember a long time ago, I put out that they launched their ad-supported tier in the US on November 3rd. Right there. And look at that. Look at the timing on that. They launch the ad-supported tier on the 3rd, and then guess what? 2 days later, we traded into an imbalance on the 7th, on the 9th, and then boom, we have pretty much rallied since then. So it's funny that Netflix came full circle. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna make streaming without ads. And then what, 10, no, not 10, it's probably like 15 years later, here they are charging at, or running an ad supported tier. It's full circle, dude. It's crazy. But hopefully their business model is booming now, because we traded into that imbalance and then we're up. Well, the stock is up at least 26% since then. So that's pretty good. In 75 days, 26%. It's not bad if you ask me. Not bad if you ask me. So I don't know how high we're going to go. Monthly time frame, it does look like we took massive liquidity. So maybe we're ready to, you know, maybe it's worth holding on to for a long time. I don't know. We'll have to see. But they had earnings yesterday. They missed bad. They missed bad. The surprise, whatever that means, whatever all this, I don't know what any of this means, to be honest with you. But I usually red means bad. Okay. So usually it means that, right? They missed, it was a surprise of 78%. Their revenue was practically the same, but the stock was up like 7% today. So that's cool. Lyft is up as well. But I don't own Lyft. I don't own Lyft. But anyways, I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss I don't want to miss that. So real quick, let me ask you guys this. Would you get out here or let your stop be hit if you were in a short? What's your answer? Take the L, take the partial L or the full L? What would you do? I just got ETS out of the military a couple months ago. Some experiences, you hated it? Yeah, the military was great because it gave me some discipline and routine and stuff like that. But the military is pretty much full of snitches, and it's full of people who I think a lot of them are bitches as well. But it's like the kid that was bullied in high school that gets into the military and then gets some power or some rank, and then they take out their revenge on everyone else, you know? Like, they're just a bunch of man babies. You know, the women weren't bad. The women were a lot more professional than the men were, in my opinion. So the military to me was just full of grown man babies, which I didn't care for, you know, because I let it be known. Literally walked around and was like, yo, fuck the Navy. Like, literally, I would say stuff like that. It was crazy. They were like, oh, I'm going to write you up. I'm like, well, write me up then. Write me up. You think I care? You know? And it threw people off. But I hated it. I absolutely despised it. Willow says partial L. I would TP at the entry and still have the same stop loss. Facts, pulling out the rank card. Yes. What's when you take the partial loss and then after that the market runs to your TP, but you are out with a partial loss? Well, that's going to happen sometimes. Imagine for a second we took a half loss and then the market, you know, ends up going your way. Well, then you took a partial loss and that's it. But when you make a decision, you have to stick with it. Because after that, you can't do anything about it. But at the end of the day, if you're shorting a bullish market, that's not going to end well for you, typically. OFP. Yes. So again, just in case you came in late, or if you just came in here, guys, we are not shorting this. Okay? We found a decent setup, but we discussed that number one, it wasn't a live trade, and number two, we discussed why this was not a short worth taking. And so by now, hopefully we get to see this hypothetical trade get stopped out. So today you learned some discernment and some trade management. So let's see. Let us see. And let me see if we can pull up British pound as well. Oh, look at that. Same shit. Look at that. I told you that this was a good setup if we were looking for shorts, but this liquidity was too thin, or this run was too thin, and I still want to see us trade at 24. Look at that. So we traded right through that. We said, screw your mitigation, screw your imbalance. We're going to run for that liquidity. You see that? That is called experience, ladies and gentlemen. That is called experience. And a lot of YouTubers would have that would have been a loss. Not here. You see that? But no ego, okay? It's just time. I've been doing this a long time. I've taken a lot of losing trades. I've learned a lot of lessons. Trust me. A lot of lessons. And hopefully you see that. You saw experience here. And I explained everything. I gave you the context. I gave you the reasons. I'm still hungry too. That hasn't changed. You know what I mean? I should have ate before I came on here, but it is what it is. But you saw that. You saw that not just for the Dow, but as well for British pound. Shorting a bullish market is not good. It's not good. So it's 125. I still want to see this run. To me though, I don't like how slow it is. Do you see that? Like how kind of just, it's not moving with aggression. It's meandering here. It's meandering. And I'm impatient. Siva, if you're still on here, you know. You know how impatient I can get. I'm like, dude, run the liquidity. Just run it. Just, what are we waiting for? Rebalance it. Or let the algorithm reprice up here. Like, what are we waiting for? You know? And it's just chilling. It's just literally just chilling. I'd be out, says Mason. Marked up SPX last night at 9 and it played out perfectly overnight to this morning, but didn't trade. I don't like overnight S&P, overnight indices. I don't trade overnight. But great job though, you know, if that's the case. Stillness is the Key is one of the best books I've read so far. Thanks for the recommendation. That is exactly why I made that one of the core reading material. Let's pull that up for a second. You can feel free to screenshot this. I don't care. It's fine. You can share it with your friends, with your family. You could write this down. You could have it on your phone. Whatever the case, this is my personal core reading recommendations for anyone who is a trader. Okay, I just showed you Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and then other than that, Stillness is the Key, which a lot of you guys have enjoyed, and then the greatest psychology coach of all time, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. But that's why I love Ryan Holiday's work. I have pretty much all of his books, and I think he's really awesome. Went to his bookstore as well. Smart money trying to trick a few more dummies into shorting and throwing a stop loss into that area. I agree. We'll come back because it's slow. Let's see the Dow. Has it taken the high? No, it has not. Well, I guess we shall wait. Let's do this. Let's watch both. So we'll do British pound over here. And we'll do the Dow over here. Is my camera in the way? No, you can see that. So we'll do Dow Jones, and then we'll do GBP USD, otherwise known as cable, but we'll just keep it crispy and clean today. So we'll take that off too. We'll just keep it clean. We'll watch it. We'll watch it like it's Netflix. Only this is cheaper than Netflix. It's cheaper than Netflix. But bro, my resistance has to work. LOL. Yes. Clifford said next level shit. Well, if you want to get good at something, you study. And you study and you study and you study. So while I still got about almost 40 of you on here, listen guys, if you learned anything today, make sure to give the video a like, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. That helps grow the channel. It helps get us on the algorithm. If you have not joined the Discord, there's my Instagram, John Fibonacci. Okay, if you have not joined the Discord yet, I want to say it's in the description, but I will also show you here. You can go to discord.gg/tradehouse, where you can learn some good things. You can come hang out with us. Some of us go live there throughout the day as well. Discord.gg/tradehouse. And if you are watching this in the recording, we're an hour and a half deep. If you've made it this far in the recording, we appreciate that. I appreciate you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Carlos says, you still have me blocked on Instagram. Do I? Why is that? Why is that? Mr. Carlos. What is your Instagram, Carlos? While we see both of these take liquidity at the same time. Thinking Pips 369. Well, I block people all the time, just so you know. So I don't remember. It was either because you said something stupid, or maybe you posted. I don't know. I don't know. Or if you did something shady. There's your Dow run. So if we were shorting, that would be an L. There's British pound running to 24. As we expected. With very little emphasis and very little conviction. Dude, I want to see it jump up there. I want to see like a trampoline just up there, bro. Just do it. Just do it. That's what I want to see. All right. Anyways, I followed you, so I don't know why you were blocked, but I have now followed you, so you're welcome. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. All right. So I did share my Instagram. Real quick. I did share my Instagram. You can be rich and stupid. You can be rich and unhappy. You can also be poor and smart. You could also be poor and happy. It's all in your mind. It's all in how you think. Rich people are slaves too. Rich people are unhappy too. Not all of them, but it's possible. And hopefully I expounded enough in today's presentation to give you more insight on that. Oh, someone sent me a 2-minute voice note. I don't have time for that right now. I will have to come back to that. Know what I'm saying? So the Dow is definitely running that high. You love to see it. And so we'll now switch back to 1. So that's what that looks like. Boom. All right, then we'll go over to British pound, and I want to see 124 plus. Okay. I think it's just, I don't know. But give me 1 second. I want to announce some things on Go Live. I mean, on Go Live on Instagram. It's more fun watching on YouTube than on Go Live. Well, because I go live at 6 p.m. so the markets are closed. All the trades have already panned out and have already happened. You know, it's not like live trading. Whereas this, it is live. And I set the settings on the lowest latency possible. So hopefully this is as close to real time as possible. Do this real quick. Look at my candle counter, the timer. On the like right up here where it has like 40, 44, 43, 42. How far off is that from your chart? I want to see how quick we are from my time to when you're actually getting the video. How quick is that? Because it shouldn't be more than like a minute or two. And it says 8 seconds. Really? That's good. I tried to make it as close to real time as possible because I knew that we were going to be in here on 1 minute time frames and shit. And I wanted to show you, like, you know, I basically wanted it to where we're in the same room almost. You know, like if I'm like, hey, come look at this, come look at this, you know? So I'm doing the best that I can. Mine's about 3 seconds. Phew, that's blessed. Oh, what is today? What is today? Friday, right? Friday the 20th. Oh, which means you guys got a bunch of content coming today. You guys got... Does anybody even remember? I think I deleted it already. That's fine. I think it's Fib Logic number 1 and number 2. And there was another one. But a lot of you guys are saying it's in the seconds. That's good. That's really good. Because we're not going to be able to trade. If we do live trade together on 1 minute, 2 minute time frames, it's got to be that quick. Because if it's too delayed, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So 124. Let's see it. Let's see it. I got to get my beard trimmed. Y'all are lucky I went live, even though I haven't trimmed my beard in a minute. Y'all are lucky, man. Y'all are lucky. What's the euro doing? Not a whole lot. So let's see. If we get British pound to run those highs, I wonder if dollar's gonna run that low. London's low, but I'm not sure. You guys can hear music, right? Or is it too loud? Because I don't have my headset on. Because I can't wear a headset and a hat at the same time. I mean, I could, but it would just be... It would not be good. Why were you absent on Go Live for a while? I still don't understand. Euro mitigation was 15 minutes. I saw that too, Carlos. Doing the same after leaving the military. All the frustration. Had to shave every day. Yeah, I had to shave every day too. I haven't shaved since then. I only get my beard trimmed every once in a while. And the music's not loud. Okay, cool. So there, I really don't want to like talk about it too much. It's just there was some behind the scenes things. There was some just drama, if you will. But all of it's taken care of. Everything is cool. Everything is great. I have no issues anymore with everything. I like where we're going. I like where British pound is going, and all is good. You know, I was off of Go Live for what, a week, because we got the channel was taken down on Friday last week, and it's back up today. So yeah, you went like a week without content. That's why I came on YouTube and gave you some content, so you guys didn't have anything. There's 124 in real time. Beautiful. I don't think we're gonna stop there though. I think we're gonna run higher, because again, liquidity is deep, right? It's not just at the high, it's at the high and above it. So we're seeing that now. We're seeing 124. The 124 even, that might be a little bit shaky, especially Friday. We're near the end of the day. There's probably going to be some business done at 124. So we'll see like what we do around that, but there it is. So you guys got to watch that in real time from 130, or I don't want to say 130, 123.90 area. We said that if we were bearish, we would short that, but we're not bearish because this run was too thin. Guess what? Bam, then we ran that. Okay, context. What helps you control your emotions when you're in drawdown? I feel like sometimes my heart pounds even though I don't trade with big lot sizes. Just the thought of being wrong that gets the best. So it happens to me too. When I take drawdown, I don't like drawdown. It's a part of the game though. You got to be comfortable with your risk. And you got to be okay with taking a loss or even a full loss. But I think a lot of it stems from our lives somewhere, like how we grew up, or maybe adversity that we may have had. You know, it's still weird to me in my eyes. This is my honest opinion. It's still weird to me sometimes that so many people, you guys have so much love for me and respect for me, which it was very weird and awkward for me when I met you guys in Dallas the first time in 2019. I had so many people that were like running up to me and hugging me and all that, wanting pictures and stuff. And it was so weird and awkward for me because that was all brand new to me. I was someone who in high school was not respected. You know, girlfriend cheated on me. Guys just thought I was a loser. Teachers kicked me out of class, I got suspended from school every single year from middle school and high school. So, you know, a lot of people they were like, oh, this guy's a fucking loser, you know. So to be so highly respected, to have 9,000 on Instagram, to have, you know, 40 of you live here, to have 4,500 subs on YouTube, like sometimes to me it's still very surreal because it's just not where I came from. It's, you know what I mean? So I think sometimes we take our life experiences or our past memories with us when we trade. You know, like, oh, if I take a loss, maybe I am a loser, you know, or like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. And sometimes it feels overly awesome when we take really good trades because it's like we're subliminally wanting to prove people wrong, like, y'all were wrong about me, you know, look what I do now type shit. You know, so it's just there's an internal reasoning for why we have the emotions that we have. We have some sort of message that our subconscious is telling us, and we need to pay attention to that. You know, why are we worried about being stopped out? Or why do we want to win a trade so bad? Is it because we want to make money, or is it because we want to prove a point? Because the more I try to prove a point, I think the more I goof up the trade or the management. And the less I worry about that, usually the better. A lot of the best trades I've ever taken came from just honestly not caring. Like, oh, that's the setup, I'll take it, whatever happens happens. And those are usually the ones that are just hit. They just bang. You know what I mean? Where there's no worry, there's no anxiousness, there's no nervousness. It just does it. It just pans out. You know what I mean? And it's hard. I wish every trade was like that. I wish I could take a trade. I wish every trade I didn't care about. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, I'm not at that point yet. But, you know, I'm working to get there. But we're human, bro. We have emotions. We have traumas, you know, and stuff like that, which is very hard to push through. And that's why for some people it's hard to be successful. They want to be successful, but sometimes we hold on to things that prevent us from being successful. And that's one of those things. So hopefully that gives you some insight to that. You just got to figure out what that is, you know, because you're not what people say. You know what I mean? People say whatever they want at this point. So, but hopefully that helps. Sammy Pips, we love you. I appreciate that. Love you guys as well. I have an entry from Dow 80 already partialed. I think of keeping the same stop loss and swinging it. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, depending on your entry, if you think the market is going to run and continue to run in your favor. I don't see why not. I mean, if you've already paid yourself, if you're holding, you know, a smaller piece where you don't really care what happens because you've already made most of your gains on the trade, I don't see why not. But it's your trade. You do what you want. I'm not giving you advice. Your favorites were the best. Went through them all over time. Glad they have it accessible again. Grateful for your teachings. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Are you going to continue on YouTube? Yes. Yes, I'm going to continue on YouTube. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Very helpful. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So, it's almost 1:45. Well, I don't know what else to really give you guys. I mean, we met 124 for British pound. The indices are rallying still. Oh, there's a gap there though. Do you see that? You see that gap? Look at that. What happened there? 130. Well, you know what? Honestly, dude, I think I'm tempted to stay with you guys between 2 to 3. Because now we're approaching the last hour. Now we are approaching the last hour. Let's see if we get some covering up here. Not covering, that's shorts. That was silly. Let's see if we get some profit taking up there. Because think about it. Anyone who was long this morning or long in the afternoon, this is a great place to take profit. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. It was the risk disclaimer. I knew something was missing. It was the risk disclaimer up at the top. That's what it was. I kept thinking to myself, what am I missing, dude? And I couldn't figure it out. And I'm gonna have to step away from my phone because it's gonna blow up again. I will get back to you guys though, but oh, look at that. Look at that. Give me 1 second, ladies and gents. Let's get that publicity going on and get 1 million subscribers to John's channel. I want to see that. Honestly, I feel like education would, I feel like education should be free. Thanks for this great opportunity. You guys are welcome. You guys are welcome. Now, here's the thing when it comes to free education. Okay, here's my honest opinion. I enjoy getting paid for teaching, but to me, it may not necessarily be so much the education, it's more so the time, right? I'm spending my time to be with you, and time is our most valuable asset. You know what I mean? And it was the Joker in the movie, I think it was Heath Ledger, right? Rest in peace, who said, if you're good at something, never do it for free. And I believe in that too. I believe in that. There was a gamer a couple years ago who I was watching some highlights and stuff, and I found out that he went live and he was playing Clash of Clans. And you know, I donated to him. I think I gave him like $5, you know. And it's like, you know, he provided value. Great guy for the gaming community, you know, for Clash of Clans. The guy even hosted like one of the tournaments, you know, the $250,000 tournaments. He was like a spokesperson, you know, so he's very well respected in the community. I don't mind paying people. It's why I tell you guys to buy books too. Like, don't get PDFs, you know what I mean? Like, pay respect to the authors and the publishers and stuff like that, which I'm also writing about in my next book. I have a chapter on that. Support local businesses and authors and entrepreneurs, right? Because what sense does it make to be an entrepreneur who doesn't support other entrepreneurs? Why would people support you if you don't support other people? You know what I mean? You get what you give in this life. Trust me on that. But coming back, the whole point was, it's the time and it's the experience, right? How I just walked you through all of that, all of this in here, right? And this is like the real market. This is real time. This isn't like I got the data beforehand and was able to tell you what was going to happen before. No, you watched your chart in real time. You know what I mean? To me, that's like the best way to do it. But luckily I was right today, because there is going to be a time where I'm going to be bullish and the market's going to trade lower, you know? And it sucks being wrong in front of a lot of people, but I've learned to look past that. How do you know when divergence is valid when it comes to liquidity? Say NASDAQ is mooning and US 30 is diverging. Sometimes US 30 moons but lag. US 30, the Dow Jones in a bullish market usually is the weakest, and in a bear market it's usually the weakest, i.e. strongest to the downside. It's not like that every single time, of course, but that's just what I've noticed. Like today, for example, NASDAQ up 2.2%. The Dow Jones is up 0.5%. It's lagging behind. It's slow, right? But notice that. Okay, if you screenshot the Dow and the NASDAQ overlap, I think it's this one. Yep. And we'll do something like this. Okay. When you see one go lower while the other goes higher, okay, when that does that, especially the Dow, and it doesn't have to be the Dow specifically, it can be others, that to me is your indication of manipulation. Okay, so how do we discern that that's going to be the low? Well, you can outright take that, which I usually don't anymore, or you wait for a retracement, which I did mention earlier. Maybe you weren't here because we've been live for a little while, or something later like a mitigation to go long. When I teach relative strength, when I teach the divergence, that's what this is. That's what I've always taught, that I would wait for it to form, wait for a reaction, and then play a retracement or something in another session, or you know, the afternoon or whatever. And like, does that make sense? So in a perfect world, you could trade Dow if you wanted to, but since the Dow is the one running stops while the other indices are accumulating, I would rather go long on the S&P. Because look at this. Let me show you this. Liquidity was taken here, and then we broke above this high, and then we traded back down into this mitigation here. Right? Look at that. Now look at the level of explosiveness from the S&P on that. Okay. Oh, I think Amazon is here. And then look at the explosiveness on Dow. I mean, you did have this and it did rally, but it's just like the move was much more substantial, much more powerful, and much more larger on the S&P than it was on the Dow. Make sense? So you can long the Dow and still have a winning trade, but the professional, I think, or the ideal trader would long the S&P, right? And so this, days like today, is exactly why those people who tell me, they're like, oh John, I only trade US 30, you know, why? Why? You're taking a lot of potential gains away from yourself. You're limiting yourself. That's what I believe. But I'm not going to tell someone what to do and what not to do. But that's why I don't do that. I don't trade just Dow or just S&P or whatever. I trade mostly the S&P, but I have traded NASDAQ and I have traded Dow, you know? So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, so Willow said pretty much what I think too. He said, I trade the index that provides the best opportunity. There you go. There you go. Or you are a he, right? Because Willow can kind of go either way. They can kind of go either way. So we're a couple minutes from 2 o'clock. So 2 is there, 3 is there. I'm curious to see what we do. Do we want to be on a live that long? Are you guys going to stay here that long? "31-year-old male, former Marine. I like to skateboard and collect NFTs. I'm a simple dude." Oh, there you go. Now I know. Now I know. Someone asked about a divergence, and I do see what you're talking about, where you have the Dow higher while the S&P is lower and the NASDAQ is lower. I mean, you're not wrong, but I want to see what we do in this last hour. I want to see. Yeah, I want to see. Let me look. Let me zoom out a little bit. Ooh, the NASDAQ ripped right through that imbalance too. It ripped that. We did trade into this though, this imbalance here, which it does look like it is respecting to a degree. All right. Yeah, look at the difference there too on a 1 hour. Nice up movement for the S&P, very nice movement for the NASDAQ, but like, look at this for the Dow. The Dow is just not him. You know, the Dow is not him. So all right, so we're getting a little bit more upside heading into the last hour. So let's see what we do. And there's your higher high on S&P. So that small time frame divergence, like that's why it's like, yeah, but not really. So we'll check that again. We're getting a nice rally here in a minute. Let's see. British pound. Nah, it broke down. It made like one more small run above 24. And it's breaking down a little bit on the 1 minute. That's fine. Let's just watch the Dow for a little bit. Let's see. So Naruto says just hopped on, but yeah, I'll stay on that long. But you say you missed the lows and you ended going on the charts when NASDAQ took highs and you started comparing the highs between US 30 to see if I'll continue to start dropping. I'm not sure I understand that question. Mr. John, can you rephrase the question if that is a question? Lots of military folks in here. I think we have the same ideology, so we stick together. Yeah. No, military folks will always get my respect, especially as a civilian, because we probably went through a lot of similar things. Now, I wasn't a Marine. I wasn't in combat. I wasn't like anything like that. I was on a couple of boats for 4 years, hated it, and I came right back to Houston. So it was a long ass 4 years, though. I'll tell you that. Today I did 3 break evens. I don't know how to perfect my entry every time I enter markets, go my direction, but still nothing. Well, Smith, why don't you see if you can screenshot your trading view and put it into the chat? I want to take a look. I want to take a look at what those trades were. Do you use volume? I don't. Everything you see on this chart is what I use. The only indicators I have is mine to show y'all, and I have some watermarks, and that's it. I don't use volume. Volume can be spoofed. Volume doesn't take into account dark pools, so doesn't take into account algorithmic rebalancing. It doesn't take into account manual price manipulation. There's a lot of things volume can do, but there's a lot of things it doesn't do. So for those reasons, I don't use it. Why does US oil have no swap? I have no idea. I haven't traded USD or US oil CFDs since like 2015. I traded crude oil inventories one time. That was my introduction into price manipulation and spreads. You know what I mean? No matter the branch or MOS, like you said, John, I got my respect for anyone who served, just not the egotistical douchebags telling war stories that never happened. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a lot of stories too. They're just not war stories. Maybe we'll get around to that one day. Those stories at least. So anyway, you know what we haven't done today is we haven't checked the ETFs. You guys didn't ask for that. Oh, that makes sense then. Look at that. Okay. Well, we didn't need it, but you got this huge gap over here. No wonder. No wonder. That would also negate shorts. I wouldn't want a short. Remember we looked at shorting that as a potential? No. Big ass gap over here. We're now looking to fill that in. So again, if you short bullish markets, good luck. Let's take the regular. $12.30. So NASDAQ had this small gap, also this old, not old, but recent imbalance as well. And then S&P. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. Now I understand why we're flying. And yesterday's that daily candle looks like hot dog water. If you look at, technically yesterday's high was that. It looks gross. It doesn't look good. On the daily. You see that? It looks like shit, doesn't it? Look at this high here. From yesterday, that high, like, ugh. That does not look sexy. So we did take that. It's just not an obvious high. That's all. Okay. So what do you guys think? What does the chat think? What do you think will take place in the last hour? Do you think it's going to continue higher? Or do you think we'll see some profit taking and go lower? What do you guys think? Matter of fact, let's do... We will do a triple screen one day. It's just not going to be today. Do the down here and here. So what I want to do is I want to monitor the 1 minute and the 5 minute together. So I can kind of watch both. But what do you guys think is going to happen? What's your routine before trading in the morning? Well, Brian, it's bold of you to assume that I wake up in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. I do. But I get up and I drink an energy drink like a Bang or a Rain. They're getting rid of Bang at my at Kroger. I don't know what's up with that. But I got Rain instead as a substitute. And that's like my breakfast. I know it's shitty, but it's what I do. And I hop on the charts. The first thing I usually do is check my phone as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. Probably not a good idea, but that's what I do. But it's because I keep up with you guys. I want to see the notifications, the questions, and the comments and all that. That's what I do it for. I want to be active with you guys, you know, so that's why. You know, not like I just wake up and start randomly scrolling through like cat videos and shit like that. Like, that's not the purpose of being on the phone that early in the morning. But it's really nothing too crazy. You know, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's like, yeah, wake up, you know, meditate for an hour, go for an hour run, come back and meditate, and then, you know, have breakfast and shower and, you know, do a bunch of craziness. Like, I'm not doing all that. Roll out of bed, get in a seat, open up the chart. Well, I got a mini fridge over there. But let's wake up, energy drink, seat, have fun. But no special routine. Until 11:15. Oh, that's a great, you know what? Great question. There's 2 books I want to show you guys. All right. I know I've shown you like a bunch of books today. But every day at 11:15, I've been slacking the last couple of days because I've been dealing with a bunch of shit. But I try to do my best and catch up in the afternoon. But there's 2 books I read every single day. I try to get to every single day. Okay. Number 1 is the John Maxwell Daily Reader. The John Maxwell Daily Reader. Incredible insight on leadership and personal development. I love John Maxwell. I have so many of his books. It's ridiculous. I've read pretty much all of them. And I think the guy's great. This is something that you can read every single day. Okay. Number 2 is the Daily Stoic Journal by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. It's a journal that gives you journal prompts which you can write in. Okay. Matter of fact, what's today? The 20th? So January 20th, this is what it looks like. Okay. So there's questions and then there's spaces to write, you know, whatever it is that you want. So today's question, January 20th, or the journal prompt rather, is how can I rekindle my principles and start living today? It's a good question. It's very thought-provoking. How can I rekindle my principles and start living today? Well, the last few days or so, I have quite literally lived out my principles. One of my principles is that the students come first. That was handled, that was taken care of. And we got on YouTube, right, to handle that. So, you know, I live it. But I guess, I mean, if I had to answer, you know, what I would do is probably sit down and really think, you know, what are my values? Is there a value that I want to have that I don't have? How can I bring that back? You know, how can I bring that back? What can I rekindle? And go from there. So every day, if you read, again, this is my opinion. If I read one John Maxwell page and one journal prompt from the Daily Stoic Journal, that's a really good way, not to get my day started, but I do that in the afternoon so I can be a little bit more alert and I can keep that going because it's awesome, you know? And that's why I've been diving a lot more into things like Stoicism for you guys, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. We talked a little bit about Marcus Cicero, a little bit about Musonius Rufus, and all of that because it's very helpful, very beneficial. And I love Ryan Holiday. I love all of his work. And I know you guys too. Or I know you guys do too, because you keep messaging me saying that stillness is the key, discipline is destiny, ego is the enemy, obstacle is the way. You know, I have all those too. They're right up there on my wall shelf. I've read them all. So, I forgot where I was going with all that, but you'll think they'll continue flying. How do you see a weekly candle as an intraday trader? Good question. I don't really look at the weekly all that often, but I do, but I don't take a trade solely based off the weekly. It's the end of the week and we've been seeing bearish days. Could see it continue a little higher or consolidate, but I'm not seeing it move much lower unless it wants to rebalance on a lower time frame. I definitely like the vibe of this better than the go live sessions. Well, I have music. I have the lo-fi music on. Plus, since it's YouTube, I'm not... Okay, I am still a go live educator, but there are a lot of rules that I have to follow. Like cursing, for example. Can't curse on go live. So... there you have it. All right. But I appreciate that, Nikki. Looking on a 1 hour, could see price continue higher to rebalance price. Bitcoin hits 22K. Do you play video games, John? I definitely play video games. I haven't recently. I haven't in recent times. Because, again, I've been dealing with a lot of things. And at this point, I would rather read than play video games in most instances. So we are trading into that imbalance on the 1 hour, which looks pretty good. So yeah, today was massively pretty bullish, wasn't it? Look at that. Continuing into the last hour. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. I will do my best to show you this. We're going to divvy this up just a little bit. This will be the last lesson for today. We should have did this earlier, but I didn't think about it. I mean, you guys did get a lot of lessons today. Okay. But I'll give you one more. Since we're here, I mean, you're already here, why not? So check this out. Do you remember earlier how we identified a potential short, but we're in a bullish market, so we're not going to trade that. I talk a lot about switching your bias, okay? About switching your bias. So if we feel like this high is going to be taken, again, which is what we talked about here, right? So if we are wrong on the short, are we able to switch our bias and go long? Well, think about it. Take a look. What's in here? If it's going to 33, 33.6, if it's going above that, because it's not bearish, it's bullish, right? So if we're in a bullish market, shouldn't down candles support price? Yes or no? Today's the reversal day after many bearish days. So if this day closes green, how do you see the next day, up or down? I don't know, because Sunday, Monday, I don't know. I don't try to do anything with Sunday, Monday. Like a break and retest idea. Break and retest is blasphemy. We don't say that here. Should down candles support price if price is bullish? There it is. There it is. So if we were in that mindset, the answer is yes. Yes, it is. So if we were in that mindset of switching our bias, like, oh, we're not short, or we shouldn't be short, this high is going to be taken on a retracement, so we can, what did we discuss earlier? Getting out of our short, right? With the small loss. Okay. So if we're getting out of our short and switching our bias, what can we do? We have a down candle here, so we can mitigate our short or even take a small loss, flip our bias and go long, right? So we could have put a limit order there, because I doubt pressing the button here would have worked, because that would have been very fast. And then there you have it. Retracement, or we rally, retracement, rally, retracement, more down candles here. Right there. Because again, that liquidity here hasn't been met yet. That's a very late opportunity, but that's still a down candle that supports price. Price rallies again, comes back down. There's another down candle. Price respects that and then runs all over again. So again, if we wanted to switch our bias, that's what we would have done. But I wasn't thinking about it. I was just more concerned on explaining to you why we wouldn't want to be short. Okay. And dude, this is one thing I like, I don't understand. So we get more viewers as time goes on. Like, I'm looking, y'all can't, I don't think you can see it. I have a view counter over here, and it's literally just like an uptrending curve. So the longer I'm on stream, the more people that hop on. So it's like an incentive to keep being here. You know? Because, like, let me put it to you this way. So I've always had this idea that most people cannot pay attention longer than an hour. That's usually how I am too, you know, for an hour. But yet there's like an incentive to be here for 2 hours, 3 hours or more. I'm all with it. As long as it's a day that doesn't impose on go live, like right now. I don't think anyone is on Go Live right now. As long as it doesn't impose on Go Live, then I don't see why not. I just didn't think that, I didn't think that's how it worked. I didn't think you guys wanted to sit here for 3-4 hours. Shit, I gotta talk that long too? I need to get me some water. Or start taking little 5-minute breaks and whatnot. Because this talking for 3 hours ain't it, bro. It ain't it. I gotta keep my voice. Let me see. I'd probably go up from discount price buying, could potentially fill or fall back to my stops. Sorry if you already answered that, but question, why were you absent on Go Live? There was just some drama, that's all. There was just some things, but everything's taken care of. It's all good now. I'm back on Go Live, but there are gonna be some big announcements coming pretty soon. Things are gonna be changing a little bit for the better. I just can't announce them yet because they're not official. And if I were to announce something and if it didn't come true, it would make me look very bad. And it's just better to wait. So once there's something in my mind right now, once it is done, once it is official, I will let you know. You will be notified. I have never kept you guys in the dark. I will never keep you guys in the dark. I will always be transparent with you. I will always. You know what I mean? And then whenever this is done, I got to get to Instagram because all of y'all are messaging me and it's too much to keep up with. Just tell everybody, you know, stop texting me, get on YouTube. You know what I mean? Let's run up these hours together. Then we can get some badges going. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. All right. So let's see. It's Friday. We're in the last hour. This will be the last 30 minutes. So let's see. Let's see what we do. Whew. Excuse me. Enjoy your live streams and your talk, Sean. Appreciate that, Jose. Thank you very much. We sit here all day long. Hey, shit, I'll sit here too. I'll sit here too. Because y'all being here, it benefits the channel. So don't be surprised if you start seeing ads and shit soon. Just saying. You're an inspiration. Want to be like you when I grow up? Don't want to be like anybody else. You want to be the best version of yourself. Okay? Feel free to write that one down. Don't try to be the best version of someone else. Be the best version of yourself. Because you won't be the best version of anybody else. The best you could ever do as someone else is their number 2. But you can be the number 1 of yourself. Okay? I appreciate the comment though. But in all seriousness, just do the best you can and be you. Okay? Smith, can you teach me a little bit about liquidity and how to take? Well, dude, this entire stream has been about that. Well, it was about quit being a slave, but we talked a lot about liquidity and stuff as well. Glad to see you got your channel back on Go Live. Definitely enjoying your YouTube sessions and your Go Live. Thank you, Naruto. I greatly appreciate that. All the sauce though is going to be on Go Live. That's where all the recordings are at. There's only a few recordings here on YouTube. So it definitely looks like we're getting a pullback. A little bit of profit taken here. Oh, it looks like. I mean, obviously it could continue to run up. But this second line here is yesterday's high. You see that? Oh, it looks kind of shitty, I know. But that's what that looks like. Like yesterday's high is here. But look at that. We have reached 450. Little 50 level in there, I guess. But I wonder if there's like some lows here. Now again, I am not trading this. I am not telling you to trade this. I'm just watching and studying price just like you. Okay? I'm not looking to make money today. I know it sounds crazy. We want to make money, John. Sometimes there are good times to trade and bad times to trade. I'm not trading right now. That's what I choose to do. But I am curious to see if the market will trade and take that. I think if we take that, there's some gaps in here as well. Now, the Dow on the 1 minute is usually the most ridiculous price action on 1 minute time frames, as far as like gaps and all that. So, but I don't really see like a mitigation setup or anything like that. So for that reason, I'm not going to short anything. But I'm just watching. I just want to watch. Let me see. Are your videos going to be all there, or they're going to be permanently deleted? Nothing is being deleted anymore. What's on Go Live right now is on Go Live. It's back. What's on YouTube will stay on YouTube unless YouTube takes it down. I'm not taking anything down. Everything that's up right now and that is scheduled to go up will stay up. Okay. Friday is mostly one moving in the sideline till the close. Yeah. Had a mentor Zoom on Go Live and IG to funnel people to the Zoom. Interesting. But don't do that, guys. If you watch Go Live, don't share that shit on Zoom. Even if it's with your team, those views get counted. By you doing that, that hurts us as educators. If you're gonna hop on Zoom, get all of your team to watch on their monitor. You can chat on Zoom or something, but everyone needs to be logged in and everyone needs to watch on their own account. Okay? Because you're not doing us a favor by doing that shit. It's illegal anyway, so don't do that shit. Okay? Discuss brokers on his platform and how to get funded. I can't discuss brokers. I can't discuss getting funded either. I'm not telling you what broker to go with or anything like that. That's up to you. But what I will say is do your research. Do your own due diligence before you decide to do anything. Okay? I wrote it, be the best version of yourself, probably tattoo it. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm entering late. It's fine, dude. We've been here for 2.5 hours. I expect people to be late and all that. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Will you stream on YouTube if you are again on Go Live or publish videos? I will publish videos on YouTube, but it's just probably not going to be as much or as often as it is now, where I have shit and it's like every single day. That will not continue forever. But hopefully it'll be enough for you guys. The main focus is going to be Go Live, period. That's going to be number one. That will always be number one. YouTube will come second to that. Okay, so I hope you guys know that. YouTube will be secondary to Go Live, always. All right? So don't get it twisted. There's ways like an extension that we can use in browser. Why do you not open your hedge fund? Too much paperwork. Too much shit. It's too much. Too much legality and I hate dealing with paperwork, dude. I hate paperwork so much. I despise it. It was hard enough to get my LLC, dude. They denied me my second one because I screwed up the address. But it's fine. But I hate paperwork with a passion. I think it's a waste of time. So let's see. But yeah, looks like they're continuing a little bit higher. Let me check British pound one more time. 208. So it looks like we did get to 2404. So a couple more pips beyond the 24 level. That's not bad. The euro is hot dog water. At least like in the last few minutes or so. I'm not with it. All right, so now we approach the last 30 minutes. Let's take a look. Where do you put your trading income into? Trading. More trading. In books. I love books. My budget for books is like, it's fine, you know? I love books. I hope you guys do too. But look at this. Well, I can't really show you, never mind. But I have to scroll and scroll and scroll to get back to everyone on Instagram. So it's going to take a while. Just like it did Friday, Saturday last week. Dude, matter of fact, let me show y'all this. I want to show y'all this. I told myself I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind. Sunday, January 15th. Let me pull up. Oh, yes. Sunday, January 15th. 11. You can't see that. 11 hours on my phone. 10 hours and 45 minutes. Can you guys see it? I don't think you can. January 16th. 10 hours, 3 minutes. The 17th. 10 hours, 28 minutes. Let's look at, let me look at yesterday and today. Give me a second. Oh, today wasn't bad. Today, wait, yesterday the 19th, 9.5 hours. On the 18th, 11 hours. Tuesday, 12 hours. Monday, 10 hours. So not as bad. But I'm telling you that because I spent all that time getting back to you guys. So can you imagine 14-hour days on the phone? Can you believe that? That's a long time. But I was getting back to all of you. Because I don't ignore people. And I really despise people that do that. Would you say market is liquidity engineered? The market's manipulated. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you trade oil? Not anymore. I haven't traded oil in many, many years. I don't care for it. What is your main focus when you analyze the market? Liquidity and entries. Appreciate your sacrifices and selflessness, John. Thank you. I appreciate that. What I do want to get into as well is other topics. So like today we got a little bit into mindset, a little bit into stoicism. What I want to get into as well is I want to do a call on leadership. I have a PowerPoint ready to go for that, so that'll probably be on YouTube. But I might schedule that in advance though, so we can get a lot of people on here, and we're gonna run up these hours. We need 4,000. But we'll get there. Why did I leave oil trading? I just don't care for oil. I like the indices a lot more. I'm much better at trading the indices than I am with oil. So. But yeah. So let's see. Because I feel like anyone who's long, who's holding on too long, per se, you know, there's literally some clean lows here. I was watching this imbalance. I didn't mark it up, but I was just watching this to see what we would do. And it just looks like, I don't know, it looks like we're probably going to slam down here. And again, don't get confused. This purple, I mean, this lineup here was yesterday's high. I'll just make that a different color, just so things aren't confusing. It's just not a clean high though. That's the only difference. It's not a clean high. So we'll give it some time. See what the price delivery is going to do, or see how price is delivered. But out of everything, I guess that's really about all that I would care to watch for. So let's see if we do that. Let us see. Very aggressive to short in this kind of market. I see you trade futures. What is the main difference with CFDs? CFDs are a contract for difference. That is going to be like your brokers that could have like 1 to 100 leverage and high leverages and stuff like that. That is not the real market. Futures are the real market. That is like the CME, for example, or the Chicago Board of Trade, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, regulated exchanges. All that data is recorded and everything. It's like more legit. And there's leverage differences as well with contract sizes. You know, it's different, especially between micros and E-mini and all that. So there's a lot of differences. But if you look it up, I'm sure you might be able to find something a little bit more in depth than that. CFDs, you probably don't have the FIFO rule, first in, first out. You definitely have that in futures, which is my least favorite rule, but it is what it is. What is the best way to journal and reflect on my trading? Well, if you're going to journal, write down what you think about the market, what your rules are, and the emotions as well. The emotional feelings as well. Did you guys know we're at a 420 level? Did you see that? You guys didn't see that, did you? Not that it matters, but you do have 420 right there. So I'm sure some of you can learn to appreciate that. Low 420. So having some fun with the price levels there. How many trades do you normally take on average daily? Probably no more than 3 or 4 if they're scalps. But anything more than a scalp, probably 1 to 2 max. See, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for Willow to say something about the 420 level. I was waiting for that. Would you guys, let me ask you this since you're still here. Would you guys be open to a session where if I played video games, like if we came on here and played some shit like Uno or Call of Duty, you know, or something to that effect? Would you guys be up for that, or do y'all not really want to see that? Uno can get pretty crazy, bro. Them draw fours, you know what I'm saying? That was crazy, crazy. How would you recommend creating a trade plan? So a lot of questions. You'll learn a lot more about that in the recorded videos. Naruto, I'm glad you remembered. It is my mental relaxation day. It is. It's my shut your brain off day. I'm probably not going to go anywhere today, though. If I was going to, I should have done it earlier, but I may go to the store. I just don't know. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I might order a pizza or wings or something. I don't know. But you're welcome. Friday is a good day to stream, though, because of, you know, that there's not a lot going on Go Live, you know? So yeah, we're almost up to 50 likes. That's cool. If you're not already subbed, make sure you guys sub, because, oh, that's what I forgot to tell you guys. You can't I don't think you can access the chat until you've been a sub for at least 24 hours. So if you're trying to chat or you want to chat, but you can't, you got to subscribe and then wait 24 hours. Sounds exciting, more than my family reunion. Oof. Dude, I think my high school reunion is tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to that shit. I'm good on that. So apparently you guys are down for the gaming. All right. I'll see what I can do. Business taking would be more fun rather than gaming. What do you mean? Or like discussing business? Like what's going on? I subscribed on another account, had to switch over to this one. Yeah. Yeah. Sniper on Call of Duty? Yeah. I used to snipe on Call of Duty. 100%. But it sucks now. Snipers are ass now because you can't even get one-shot headshots anymore. You shoot somebody in the head, they just walk away like with no plates. I'm like, bro, this is a 50 cal. That bullet's like this fucking big. I'm hitting you in the face with it, but you're just walking away. That's so stupid to me. Call of Duty has been ruined. I mean, Call of Duty's been ass for a long time, you know, but this whole plates idea, you get plates in the gulag now. It's like a 2-man gulag, bro. Gaming has been ruined. 2022, this is my opinion. 2022 was the worst year for video games, period. That's what I believe. I prefer rock a John Fib trading shirt if you were to ever throw some merch together. I do have merch. JohnFibonacci.com. JohnFibonacci.com. Y'all didn't know? Take a look. Oh shit, I didn't show you guys my phone case, bruh. I didn't show you my phone case. Oh, let me clean this off. Let me clean it off. Where have you guys been? Your stop loss is my entry. Phone case. What are we dealing with, fam? What are we dealing with? JohnFibonacci.com. You can order it. You can get a hoodie. You can get a mouse pad. You can get I got some other shit up there. I just don't remember on the website. Know what I mean? But I am going to keep the charts up though. So, all right, let's see, ladies and gents. Let's see. Still above yesterday's high. Yeah, liquidity down here. And it looks like it's forming this big ass flag too. So I want to see what happens with that. The S&P garbage, NASDAQ. It's not garbage. It's just like, I just want to see what it does. That's all. We will have to wait. So we're in the last 15 minutes on a Friday. So I do expect a little bit of volatility. We could get it. We could not get it. It just depends. It just depends. There's one called Escape from Tarkov, more realistic. I've heard about that game. Oh, real estate. Ah, dude, I don't know shit about real estate. I don't. Why haven't I heard you talk about women before? What do you mean about women? What does that even mean? Are the XL hoodies massive, or do they run a little snug? If you wear an XL, I would get a 2X. Because I have a hoodie, and it runs fairly tight. Not like tight, but you know what I mean? Like if you're normally a large, I would up it. But all that is done through Printify, some shit like that. So, dude, I had someone order some mugs. A guy from Italy ordered the mugs in like November, like late November. Dude still hasn't showed up. What the fuck is going on with Italy right now? What's up with that shit? Where the mugs at, bruh? No one else has ever had to wait this long. But it's fine. Because it comes in a mug too, I think. Are the XL hoodies mass? Oh, I'm sorry, I read that already. Colton Bullish is your student? That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. If he was, it was probably a long time ago. But that name does sound familiar though. Someone mugged the mailman for it. We gotta fix that. We gotta fix that. Can't be out here stealing mugs. Can't be mugging mugs, man. That's not cool. Not cool, not cool. What would you say shift your trading to profitable? Sorry for so many questions. Well, okay, so there's quite a lot to unpack in that question, but I would say, you know, some of the biggest breakthroughs come from understanding that the markets are manipulated and then waiting for the manipulation and finding trade setups after that. When I narrowed down my trading setups to that effect, that definitely helped the profitability. And when I hold winning trades more, then that definitely helps as well. And I know it sounds crazy. Well, yeah, John, you know, hold winners and cut losers. Yes, it's obvious, but do we really do that though? You know, do we really do that? But the math checks out. It's just a matter of patience or impatience on your part. But it's just finding a winning strategy, or your, you know, favorite high probability setup that has low risk, high reward to it, and going from there. How many countries have you been to? I've only been to the US. I've taken, in the Navy, we went down to Puerto Rico in 2018 or 2017. I can't remember. I think it was a tail end of 2017, and I left the Navy January of 2018. I think that's what it was. So, but I didn't go to the island or anything. But no, I don't even have a passport. So just the US. I like being at home, dude. I like being right here where I'm at. I like being right here. Because a lot of people do have that, you know, mindset of, oh, I want to make a lot of money and travel and stuff like that. I have nothing against traveling. That's just not me. I went to Austin a couple weeks ago, which is cool, but I generally don't like traveling, dude. That whole sleeping in, you know, a different bed and it's not your own, and then, you know, trying to catch the flight and worrying about luggage and all that. Like, I get why people travel. I do, and I do enjoy it overall, but do I go out of my way to travel? No. So you're from Pakistan, 20 years old. Very nice. Pakistan's in the building. Glad to finally be watching a stream. Welcome. Yeah, we've been here for almost 3 hours now. Almost 3 hours. And we're probably going to cut it off here too, pretty shortly. So doesn't look like we're going to get that run down there. So it's a good thing we didn't trade anything like that. Nothing about today was live trading, just so you guys know. Okay. So look at that. We're probably going to rally heading into the close, which is fine. S&P, same thing. NASDAQ, fairly similar. So there you have it. And I want to check British pound one more time. Just one more time. Yeah, it started to break down on a smaller time frame. So there it is. All right. Well, that is pretty much going to conclude today. I don't see a reason to just go into the stock exchange close, but thank you guys so much for being here. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do that. If you enjoyed today's presentation, make sure you leave a like in the recording. You can leave a comment. I would appreciate that. I'm just waiting for the gaming stuff. I would be more than happy to see and probably play with you. Yeah, well, that'll probably all be done on my the announcements will be on Instagram. I'll probably let you guys know like what's going to be a game night and what's going to be trading. Because I definitely don't want to confuse people. You know, I don't want people coming on here thinking that they're going to learn trading and then they see, you know, they see us fucking around on Uno. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to confuse people or upset, you know. So we'll probably do like flyers and stuff so that way you guys know like which day and all that. So I got to put a schedule together. I don't know what that schedule is going to be, so we'll figure it out. But I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you learned something today in the stream, because we talked about a lot of things. So go out there in the world, do great things, forgive yourself, forgive other people, be grateful for everything that you have. And I will see you guys in the next one.